Coach Sharpe, thanks so much for joining me today. Congrats on a big victory this last week, 20-13 against Franklin Central. A lot of good things to talk about. I'm definitely going to get into some of the details and talk about some of the individual players and ask you about them. But I want to let you kind of open things up with your thoughts on the game and how you felt about it overall.
Well, that's a good team we played, and that team has a lot of talent. And our kids, they watch the film over and over and over again, knowing what kind of opponent they're going to get, and they just really rose to the challenge. What I was most excited about was the passion and the energy that we played with early on. It was we felt horrible about the Zionsville game. We got out to such a slow start. We didn't get off the bus, and Zionsville got up 14-0 and kind of was able to preserve that lead and beat us by a touchdown. So we knew that the mojo and the juice and the energy had to change the first 5 minutes, and we got off to that great start. We forced a punt. We get the ball. Can't do much on offense, but we get the huge pick six from Shane Story, and that just got everything going from there. And I felt like we really controlled the game. After that, we just didn't work as the tandem. When our offense was struggling, but our defense was playing phenomenal. And then when our offense gets a little bit of a spark, that's when our defense kind of, gave up that late touchdown. So it's as soon as we can get both sides clicking at the exact same time, that's how we build 14-point leads, 21-point leads, and that's what we're focusing on now, is just constantly getting better and getting both sides of the ball playing well at the same time.
Yeah, sure. I know what you mean, and I know where you're coming from. Boy, I don't really know where to go off of that, because there's so much to talk about. I mean, I want to ask you about the offense and the defense. So, you mentioned the big pick six. So let's talk a little bit about the defense. And in fact, we consistently have had big play from guys like Skylar Tolliver and Blaine McNabb, and I know I'm going to forget a few names here, but Alaric Rogers-Walton, a whole bunch of guys that have really stepped up throughout the entire defense. As somebody who covers you guys week in and week out, though, I've got to say it's been fun to watch, and I've been so impressed with your defensive back play. I watch a guy like Blaine McNabb, who seems like he's the guy that you want on against the team's best receiver every time. He's a tough kid. He's played so well, not just defensively with a lot of pass breakups and tough, hard-nosed football coming up to the line of scrimmage, but also on the special team side. So, of course, Sharpe played a great game as well. Can you talk a little bit about how important those guys in the secondary have been to your season so far? And then after that, go a little bit into maybe the guys up front.
Yeah, you're definitely right about Blaine. Blaine gets voted team captain every week by his teammates. He leads us in a lot of cheers, a lot of the pregame rants that he goes on about playing hard and all that stuff. And the kids really feed in on that. And you're absolutely right. Every team we play is going to have an ace receiver, and we want Blaine as close to that guy as possible.
Sure.
And he really does set the tone for our defensive secondary. And then you mentioned Shane Story, who's a great kid, is also a senior who was in the right place at the right time and got that big pick six. And then another senior in the secondary that made another huge play late in the game was Zach Blevins. He was the one that picked off the play right there on the goal line late in the fourth quarter when we really needed a big play, and kind of helped seal the game for us as well. And Jordan Sharpe's played a lot of secondary for us. Also, and so I really think Coach Concoli and Coach Jeanette, they've done an awesome job of getting these kids ready to go. And then Aiden Walker's our other guy that we've played every single game, and another senior. So it's a very veteran group, and they know that we're going to see an aerial assault literally every week of this conference schedule. So they're always on their toes and always know they can improve.
Sure. I want to go into offense in a minute, but in the same vein as we were talking about with the secondary, I mean, a couple of guys in the secondary are your go-to gunners on special teams and on punt. And obviously we've got to talk about your punter, who's been just kicking butt this whole season, putting you guys in positions to be successful defensively. And obviously it's great to have, correct me if I'm wrong, I know McNabb's one of the gunners. I think is Story the other gunner who's played really well on special teams?
Plays on punt teams. So yeah, it's most of our defensive starters are our big weapons on special teams for kickoff return, and punt team. So yeah.
So that combination of Addison and McNabb or the Gunners is a pretty scary combo for any punt returner, I got to say.
No. So we've been conservative by nature offensively, because we know that we play good defense and we have the best punter in the nation. And a lot of these big FBS schools are knocking on his door, and he's gonna go to college for free, we think, and he'll be playing on ESPN at noon or 3 o'clock or the 7 o'clock. Like, we're gonna see him punting in big time stadiums, and it couldn't happen to a better kid. Braden is just a great teammate. He's been voted team captain as a punter.
You don't see that every day.
You don't see that every day, but it just goes to show you how hard he works at it, and he wants to be great. And he also helped us win the FC game. Getting that last punt to just die right on the 5 or 6 yard line was awesome.
Sure. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the run game and how strong, how much it's carried us throughout the season. Coach, I remember in our preseason interview, we talked about, you got a whole stable of running backs in the backfield that have stepped up for you guys. Guys like Holden Montarsi, Trey Speak. I hope I'm not butchering the names here. And of course, Owens, who's played Owen Jones, correct?
Jones, yeah.
Yep. Who's played really, really well. It seems like he only likes 90+ yard touchdowns. Is that true in practice? Does he only run long touchdowns? He doesn't like short plays?
He's a home run threat, and it does. He's a gain of 0, a gain of 10, or a gain of 90, and that's kind of the nature of his position in the offense. We tell him that we're going to give him the ball 15, 20 times a game, and quite a few of those are going to get stuffed. But it's the little quick hit and trap and hammer plays. We need somebody that is great lateral quickness, great vision, and that can make that home run cut. And we're never going to give up on that play and that scheme. And Owen made some huge runs for us, especially late in that fourth quarter. And did the same thing against Zionsville. It got us back within 7 in the fourth quarter against Zionsville as well. Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about is, we don't give a lot of love to the offensive line. Obviously, it's very much deserved, but it's just not the most glamorous position. Can you talk a little bit about how you've seen these guys grow over the last 4 or 5 weeks and how important they've been to your team's success on the ground?
Right. So our offense, we play a lot of sophomores, and these guys are buddies. They're best friends. They hang out together, and they are all growing up together. They're all 15, and they're playing against 17 and 18-year-olds. And I don't want to say they're taking their lumps, but they are experiencing what Friday Night Football is like real fast. And I think they've all started pretty much the whole season. Nate Ham, Blake Cole, Drew Page, Ben Decker, and Jacob Ambler has played a lot too. Those are 5 sophomores that are getting this incredible experience. And I think we're going to be a really tough out come November when the playoffs start. And I'm so jazzed up about the 2021 and 2022 season when these guys become our leaders for the next 2 years, having all this experience under their belt. And we'd be remiss to say that probably our best, most consistent offensive lineman, Jake Long, really holds the group together. He's a junior, and he is everything you could ever want in a wing T pulling guard. He's also been voted a team captain as a junior by his teammates. So he holds us all together. And then, of course, we also have Evan Oxberger and Dylan Ray. Carson Cutler has played some. Mason Anderson's been in some. So the rest of those guys because we play 7 offensive linemen at a time usually, and it's a fun group to be around. Coach Radican, Coach Williams, Coach Ray, they do an awesome job with these guys as well.
So, lastly, Coach, I want to let you talk a little bit about some of the guys that maybe we don't hear about every week on scout team or in practice, guys that are really stepping up and giving the offense or the defense a good look and making the team better, but maybe people that we don't read in the papers or see in Story of the Season every week.
Sure. I know when our varsity defense, they have trouble tackling Davion Bowe when he's playing scout running back.
Oh yeah.
Or a scout team receiver, so he gives those guys a great look. And then down in when our varsity offense is going against some scout team, we have some pesky D linemen that are underclassmen, sophomores and juniors. So Max Snyder, Zach Lee, KJ Harvey, these guys, Sam Crone. These guys come in and they are pests. And sometimes I'll get so mad at the offense, and it's because Max Snyder knifed in there and made a play. And kind of like I'm so mad at one of our offensive tackles, but then I'm so happy that a kid like Sam Crone or makes a big play against us. So it's fun. It's no matter what level of football you're at, there's going to be there's a number one team, and then there's a scout team, and the harder that scout team works and the more that they prepare, the better they're going to be. And I think our kids are seeing that like, I have to do my job as a sophomore, kind of getting beat up a little bit, but it'll make us better on Friday nights. And they know that when they're seniors, that they'll get the chance to kind of beat up on some sophomores. And it's just a fun little cycle that, every single team in America kind of goes through that. And it's fun to watch these kids grow up and get better by going against a good varsity offense or a good varsity defense.
And wrapping things up, Coach, I want to let you talk about the upcoming week. We have Hamilton Southeastern at home this Friday at Beaver Material Stadium. Talk about kind of what we need to do to prepare for them and what you're looking forward to in this game.
Right, a lot of read option run game. They have a very athletic quarterback who's going to make a lot of run reads. They're going to option off different types of people in our front seven, and we have to be on our toes. We have to play very fast and physical. I'm confident we will do that. What gives me some worries is that the quarterback can make some very slick reads, and he's really been the straw that stirs the drink for that offense. Mostly as a runner, but as soon as you think they're run-based only, he makes some huge plays to their talented core of receivers and tight ends and H-backs. So it's a really good offense, but I know Coach Metzler and the rest of our defensive staff are very excited about matching wits with this offensive system that HSE has. Yeah. And then defensively, that they return a few kids from their front seven. They're going to be fast and physical. We know that, but we think that if we rely on our systems, if we have to out-practice them this week, and I think we have a great chance of winning.
Coach, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck this Friday.
Thanks, Chris. Go Millers.